Welcome back to the Human Nexus podcast. My name is Andrew Brazis. I'm a business consultant and private chef.
Welcome back. My name is Miss Laura Machiste. I am an online tarot reader, holistic massage therapist, and energy coach. And today we are talking about Virgo season, eclipse season. Yeah, so we do have this full moon in Pisces eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse happening on September 7th. So I feel like to go hand in hand with just knowing a Virgo season in general. If you didn't already watch our Leo season episode, I would go watch that so you can kind of get a gist of what we felt on our transition from Leo season to Virgo season. I'll give it a little bit through here, and basically with Leo in terms of renewing creative energy, interconnecting to your inner child. And then when Virgo season comes, really putting all of those new things that the sun season gave you into your routine. So Virgo season, I feel like, is an interesting season in general because it has a collective move with it because school starts around that time
Mm.
in the world. So collectively, people go back on a schedule. So I think it's just so interesting that Virgo season rules the routine and the schedule and like having a calendar and stuff like that. And if you are a parent or a child, or at least still in college or something like that, Virgo season does bring about new routine vibrations to the collective in general. So for the people that don't believe in astrology and you're just like, so just so happen to seeing this video somehow, some way, you can kind of connect that in how the collective really does go along with the seasons, whether we are realizing it or not.
I feel like too to add to that, Virgo season is like the end of summer, and summer's like freedom, or I don't know, like summer's just it's just a different energetic feeling. And so we're kind of like getting back into the routine of, I don't know, like normal life, I guess, too, in a lot of senses, like not summer life.
Right. It's like freedom into structure
Mm.
almost, where it's like, okay, you had your fun during the summer. But I feel like collectively it could be different. Some people are retired. Some people, like me, like I'm not bound to a
That's
schedule like
yeah.
that per se, even though I do readings for a certain amount of times and certain like holidays or astrological events. But just in general, for someone like me, Leo
Mhm.
season, I worked with the energy, started moving again, started getting like a routine. Like I personally wanted to manifest a active fitness type of productive routine, and Leo season helped me. It gave it to me, and now that I'm starting Virgo season, I it's there. It's already in there. I got my time when I do walks, I got my time when I go to the gym, I got my time when I record, and I have my time when I see clients. So there's definitely like that, using the energy to your advantage. And if you don't, and you kind of just take the season as like, let's just do whatever, you might feel more intense or overwhelmed in Virgo season because the season is asking you to structure your energy. And when you don't structure your energy, you will feel like unstable. So if you are one of those people that like hate the month of September, it's probably because there's a lack of a stable routine. But Virgo season also asks you to, change up your routine, change up your diet. A good time to start a new diet would be at the end of Leo season, beginning or all of Virgo season, because the Virgo rules the digestive system. So it's really
Interesting.
important in those types of departments. And like I already know these things because I've looked up it, I've researched it, I've studied it for whatever amount of time. So having the awareness, I feel like awareness is everything. So even just like hearing us say that could bring a sense of awareness to you as a viewer. And now all of a sudden you're just kind of like, oh, wait, okay, I struggle with eating healthy. Let me really try to eat healthier in September and see if I can stick to it. And it's going to be easier to stick to those things around those times just because of that. And Virgo energy rules the maiden, like the body
Mhm.
itself. So there's also that connection to the body as well as wheat. So you'll see, like in the grass, at the end of the summer, those little wheat stalks start to come up. And even nature is like, Virgo season's coming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about the, just kind of transitioning a little bit, But what about the Pisces full moon with the eclipse energy with I think we've got I don't know over half of the planets in retrograde or like going into retro like we've had the last month and then like the next couple of months a lot of retrogrades happening together which seemed I mean for me it's kind of sucked personally but in a good way and bad way but a lot of transitions and a lot of old stuff coming up like thoughts.
Yeah, so I feel like with eclipse season in general, I think we have eclipses with the nodes and they shift maybe like every year and a half or so. I'm pretty sure that this is our last moment, like our last hurrah of the
Mm.
Pisces and Virgo axis. So, what was going on last year around this time and 6 months from then? So, a year from now and then a year and a half from now. It's really good to find that like reflective moment. And a lot of the times, too, people will get readings in the beginning of new nodes, and readings won't make sense, specifically like personal or astrological ones,
Mhm.
until after the nodes already shift out. So I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure this Pisces and Virgo eclipse that we're having this Virgo season of 2025 are our last hurrah for Pisces and Virgo for now. So
Mhm.
I feel like it's very interesting that we have this Pisces eclipse in Virgo season and they are sister signs, why they share the South Node and the North Node in times. And Pisces energy is gonna, especially with this eclipse, I feel like what you mentioned earlier before we even started recording, masks falling off on
Mhm.
people, purposes, things like that. Like even for me, I realized like, going into massage therapy was definitely part of my purpose, but it's not my full purpose. And like regenerating that energy inside of me and realigning with a purpose is something that I'm doing right now as a Pisces sun person. So, like for example, my mom is a Virgo. She's been nannying for a family every Friday from 8:30 to 3. And this year, mind you, she's been nannying with them for like the past 2 years, maybe when the nodes went into Virgo and Pisces. Now her schedule is 11:30 to 3, and she's had this like happy yet not happy feeling with it because she's retired. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm happy I have more free time, but that extra 5 hours was also helpful of money.
Mhm.
So it's interesting as somebody, my mom who doesn't even follow astrology, she won't even look anything up. Maybe she reads her horoscope at the back of the magazine sometimes, but even something for her changed on that time, her being a Virgo. Now, it doesn't only mean that Virgo and Pisces people are going to go through it, it's going to be like everybody collectively. But I feel like it's really important to put that into play. And specifically, this Pisces one is going to be dropping the mask for sure because Pisces rules the 12th house. So it's
Mhm.
almost like the Pisces eclipse is going to drop the masks that either you wear or other people around you wear, as well as when the Virgo eclipse happens 2 weeks later, it's like, okay, so now what are you going to do with what's left?
Like
What are you going to,
what are you gonna do with the truth that you're
right?
seeing? Like how are you gonna navigate it and approach it? I so what I have here on my notes is just for the Pisces full moon specifically is karmic closures. So I think in some other areas, going back to like you said a year and a half ish, I keep seeing like May 2023 to like the fall of 2023, like that cycle's ending here in this energy. And that's like not today specifically, but within that, week period or couple of weeks or month or whatever it is. But like karmic closures, cycles ending, truth, big truths being revealed. And I think we're seeing that in the world stage collectively.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much shit going on out there. But then also like unexpected turns of events. So like I guess that's really all I have on that. But
Yeah, and Pisces is a water sign ruled by the fish. So fish don't do anything but swim. They can't
mhm,
hold on to anything. So things that are like not meant for you to hold on to will probably be like eclipsed out of your life during the Pisces one
mhm,
specifically. And, Pisces ruling the 12th house gets a little bit funky because the 12th house like rules your subconscious and stuff like that. So if there's been something that you couldn't figure out or you couldn't understand or you couldn't put into words, this Pisces eclipse could definitely help you have like some revelations or epiphany moments where you could swim in a direction that you were scared of swimming, or it's almost like being more uncomfortable with the unknown as well. So it's almost like throwing your hands up in the air and just saying like, all right, however the wherever the wind takes me, wherever the water flows, it's almost like just to just give it up and just see what happens and release resistance, because in mythology Pisces was created because I think it was Aphrodite. She created these two fishes to defeat something else. So these two fishes were created for like to have
Destruction.
victory. Yeah, destruction
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
victory on
yeah.
something. So Pisces like is teaching people in an eclipse moment of like allow what needs to be destroyed for your own victory. And
Yeah, that's
sometimes that happens.
that's something else that I keep seeing a lot. Just it's in the like releasing the things that you feel aren't maybe meant for you or like this, whatever that means for people. But the victory part, like unexpected victories, like in ways that probably don't necessarily make sense in the moment.
Right, because of the 12th house of like the subconscious
Hmm.
stuff
Yeah.
where it might not make sense necessarily now, but whatever months or years down the line, you might look back at this past eclipse season and be like, wow, I didn't realize that that was going to do that, but I'm glad that it did in that moment. And you just see
Hmm.
the after effects, which is actually very interesting. I always have this reoccurring dream. So, like, I was a competitive swimmer and I also swim coach in the winter. I have this repetitive dream that I'm getting ready to go swimming, like swim in a meet, like
Hmm.
race, like somebody or people. And I never make it to the block. Like I never make it into the pool. Like I never make it
Like
in.
you never get started.
Right. But like I'm in the dream, like getting ready, like looking for my bathing suit, looking for my
Hmm.
goggles, trying to find like in swim meets, like there's like a schedule where you know your event 3 lane 2 like something like that. So I'm always like asking the coach like when do I swim, when it's always this I never make it in, I never make it into this freaking pool. I have no idea why. But last night actually, which is perfect that we're recording this today, I had the dream. I was in the swim meet. I was like asking the swim coach, who was actually in my dream this time, was my swim coach from high school. And I said to her, like, when do I swim? And she's like,
Hmm.
you're swimming here. She even showed me my name on the sheet. And in my perception, I was like, but are they going to be mad at me that I'm swimming and I'm older and I'm not a high schooler? I don't know why I like had that thought of like I would get the team like disqualified.
Hmm.
I don't know. I was thinking it was like a
Did you start swimming
younger.
or did you still not make it?
So I actually did swim. It was
That's
I
crazy.
felt myself like dive into the water for like warm up, which I never even
Hmm.
make it to warm up either. And then I actually did like do backstroke, which was like my stroke, and like I actually swam. And this morning I looked it up, like the connection of like, all right, I've always been having this reoccurring dream. I never
Hmm.
made it in, but I finally made it in the water this time. Like water in your dreams indicate like your subconscious mind, emotions, stuff like
Hmm.
that. So what I got back of feedback like from the interwebs, you know, like you make your own truth, but it's nice to
Yeah.
look things up. Like just look up your dreams
Yeah.
if you need.
You
And
should.
in the dream, it like in what they gave me back was like the interpretation of kind of like you wanted to be ready, but maybe you weren't internally ready.
Hmm.
And this dream of me actually finally swimming brought about that sense of like, no, you are actually ready to like be in the flow now, or to go where the ocean's gonna take you, or the water is gonna take you. And like also like indicated like more emotional stability and security, which I'm definitely like feeling that right now, and like whatever experiences have been going on where I feel like more emotionally stable. But I just thought it was so weird because I was like, wow, there's that Pisces eclipse coming up. I'm a
Hmm.
Pisces. I've never make it into this freaking pool. I finally made it into the pool. I swam in the swim meet. Like it was crazy. And I can't tell you, I
No,
think I've had this recurring dream for like 5 years, 6 years.
I think that makes a lot of sense though, just from like my own experience. And like I keep going back to there was a solar eclipse in spring of 2024 that was like really big here in the Midwest at least. And there was like a lot of things at the end of 2023 and 2024 that were like starting like energetically, but it was like collectively people aren't ready, you're energetically I'm not ready, whatever. And it seems like those things have been like coming to an ending for this eclipse season. So it's like the cycle's over. Here's the lessons. And like what you said about, was it, is it the Virgo new moon coming up after?
Yeah.
Like that's like, okay, the storm's over. What are you gonna do with it? And I think that like ties in with your dream really well. It's like, okay, now you are like you're ready to swim, but
Right.
like
Now I'm actually it made it in the pool.
now
What
you're
am
in the
I gonna do in the
pool.
pool? Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, no, that's really good. As far as like eclipse season goes, do you have anything to add, say about that? Like, was I think before you start, my only experience or knowledge on this is like eclipse seasons is usually just super heightened all around. Is that accurate, or is there more to that that I don't know, understand, unaware of?
Yeah, things are heightened, things are more intense. You know, the sun and the moon don't meet that often. So when they
Mhm.
do twice throughout the year, it definitely brings some things in that creates like shifts and movements. And on an energetic level, I feel like it could go either way. Like I'm really big on the duality of life, right? So surprisingly, this eclipse season has started off a little unexpected for me, but my stabilization and handling the unexpectedness so far, I'm even surprised by myself, you know?
Mhm.
So I feel like depending on where you're at, and my whole thing too, and I say this to one of my friends all the time who she's like me in the same like spiritual department. When we didn't know like when eclipses were happening, when astrology maybe wasn't as mainstream, but people still like manifested, everyone was manifesting all the time. You know, we
Yeah.
didn't let like, oh my gosh, but it's eclipse season. Don't ask for what you want. And it's kind of like, do what feels right. If it feels right, it feels right. If it doesn't feel right, it
Mhm.
doesn't feel right. And just go with the flow because it doesn't, for me personally, events like this that like our ancestors were able to acknowledge as well without having a calendar. I'm going to go with maybe they were like time to create around this time. Like we don't
Yeah.
know what they were saying or what they weren't saying, and we don't know what scriptures or what books were edited or not edited and stuff like that. So I personally feel like just going like with what how you feel and stabilizing yourself and what's going on will be pretty good. And like I mentioned to you before, like somebody that I know is going through like a time of like having some unexpected issues with like being hacked in a way. And it's so interesting because one of the astrologers that I was working with, he was in Colombia. I think I
Mhm.
mentioned him to you before. He said something to me about eclipse seasons specifically, not like
Mhm.
seasons in general astrologically, but he said every eclipse season, whether you do it once a year or twice a year, go in, like change your passwords, clear out your storage, stuff like that. Like clear the energy and renew the energy on your own
Mhm.
in a minimal way. It doesn't have to be grand. Like you could just like go through your camera roll and be like, I don't need any of this stuff. But when you do change things and shift things and work with the energy that's being presented in during eclipse season, I feel like it could be super beneficial. But
Mhm.
without that awareness and about that knowledge, like sometimes it's just like for me who studies energy, that makes total sense.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
if there's going to be a moment in time of life where there could be unexpected shifts, I want to make sure I'm secured. So I'm going to
Mhm.
make sure I got enough storage, I got enough battery on my phone, or that this is okay, or the leakages are right, or like one thing I'm going to do with this eclipse season, I'm going to bring my car to the mechanic. I'm like, can you do a little just check the whole car, that's it, you know, just something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, so it's more like you're focused on security, but like going back to the analogy of the fish, like you don't have the fish doesn't have hands to hang on to things. So
Right.
like let things like let go of things if they're not serving you, but be
Hmm.
secure in being the fish, I
Right.
guess.
Like
Yeah.
being secure in what you can control and like giving
Yeah.
up everything else that like you can't
Hmm.
in a sense. And I feel like, with the symbolism of Pisces being a two fish, like they're both swimming in opposite directions. Like one fish is going this way, one fish is going that way. So, like, there is that push and pull between the mind, the heart, the subconscious, the intuition. Like, the
Hmm.
amount of times Pisces people are like psychic, but they don't like listen to themselves. This could be a big thing that's happening right now, too, where you are having epiphany moments where your intuition was probably telling you something that you were ignoring, and now that masks are coming off or shifts are happening or revelations are being exposed, you almost have this reflection moment of, wait a minute, my intuition did have a little hunch about that, and it
Yeah.
just wasn't listened. So the Pisces eclipse could bring about that type of theme for people too, where maybe it was like a small whisper, but it was still there. Because I feel like, I read for Leos and Pisces, and I say this to Pisces people all the time. I'm like, y'all know, but you just don't listen to your own self. So,
Yeah.
and that
No,
could be a
that's
theme
so
for
true.
people right now where they're realizing, like, wait, I didn't listen to myself and I should have.
So to bring this full circle, how does all of that eclipse season, the full moon, how does all of this tie into Virgo season and like happening during Virgo season? Like, what are the
I feel like it's just
connections
bringing
there?
a nice like hurrah moment.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Virgo season, like I said, is overwhelming in
Hmm.
general with new schedules and stuff like that. You add two eclipses in it because, like, last year, eclipse season was like the end of September. We had one the first week of October. Like, we already had moved into Libra season where there's gives you a little bit more balance,
Hmm.
which Libra season episode will be next. So I feel like with that type of energy, it could be a hard hit this eclipse season and Virgo season. Because and also Virgos stereotypically are critical. So this is a time where you could be really hard on yourself, really judgmental to other people, hypercritical of things. It'd be best to kind of just like lean that back, not do anything with it, just kind of observe, like Pisces rules being observant. So to kind of master the energy, be observant, and stick to what you know. Stick to what you feel secure in is like best case scenario for this moment. Because things could be intense for yourself, for people around you, for like a community at large, like stuff like that. So I just feel like expect the unexpected, but don't fear the movement because a lot of the times, whatever is eclipsed out or eclipsed in will be beneficial for your growth in the future. And Virgo season's just giving you a little bit more stress to it.
That's
Mental
good.
stress too,
I
because
mean, not good, but
Virgo, weapon?
no, 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 go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say mental stress too, because Virgo rules Mercury as well. So there could be
Interesting.
some type of mentality switch, belief system movement with that as well. Where I would say it's a good season to have a dark night of the soul moment or to really like face yourself and like your bad habits and issues. Cause yeah, Virgo might be hypercritical, but sometimes you have to like nobody's perfect. So if you do think you're
Yeah.
perfect, you have a big ego. So maybe not being hard or critical on yourself, but maybe in a analyzing energy of
Well,
like doing that for yourself.
that's something that I've been seeing a lot too, is like the thought of like especially like around the full moon in Pisces in Virgo season with the eclipses, like being hypercritical of the things that are no longer serving you and like being like, okay, how do I strategically get this out of my life? Like like you were talking about like setting new routines. Like what's a new routine look like without all the addictions or the escapism? Like what does that look like? And then like not necessarily taking action, but like laying it out there and figuring out what those things are so you can let them go.
Right. For example, I had a bad habit with I wouldn't work out the day I had clients, like
Mhm.
hands-on clients, like massage clients. And I just did it just felt weird for me. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was like, all right, well, if I work out that day, that means my body's going to be in body fat burning mode. Even if I take a shower, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it was, but I was just blocking myself from being active on days I had hands on clients.
Mhm.
So all of month of August, I had Leo season daily marathon. I wasn't taking people in person as much. And now that September has come through and I'm in the middle of transitioning and processing, I took it upon myself to say, like, all right, well, you're already in the active routine now. And now here's Virgo season. Can you put both together? And just yesterday, I did my 10,000 steps, walked 3 something miles, and then I took 3 clients
Damn.
after, and I was kind of like, you did it. Like,
Yeah.
look, you did it and you felt okay.
Hell yeah. That's good. That's
So
amazing.
there's definitely that movement where I'm just aware. And yesterday I had that indication of like, okay, old you 2 months ago would have been like, all right, I have clients at 4:30. I'm going to do nothing till 4:30, maybe record once or twice. But no, I was like, no, you're going to go to the gym. You're going to go on that long ass walk. You're going to do what you've normally been doing. You're going to go home. You're going to take a shower and you're going to take these clients and you're going to be okay. And I was fine. So,
And that's also like goes back to structure. Like it sounds like you had it structured out already.
right.
And you're like, okay, I
Well,
know what this looks like.
yeah, I knew what
Yeah.
it looked like. I just wasn't doing it. So,
Yeah.
Virgo season caused me to be like, well, are you going to mess with your routine or are you going to do it?
Next time, we're going to be talking about Libra season.
Yes, Libra season, partnerships. We can talk about the seventh house. We'll go through all stuff Libra on like a basic level and the season in general. So do not forget to subscribe and ring the bell. Thank you all for being here and for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.